Hi everyone, I'm Ankita. Welcome to my art vlog. So today I'm going to make an A6 size diary with the French link stitching method and an exposed binding. So here are some A4 sized sheets and I'm going to cut them into half to make them A5. I prefer to cut 2 sheets at a time for precision. So I've neatly aligned it to the marks on the cutting mat and now I'll begin to cut it using this metal scale and a cutter. I keep a finger here because if I don't, the end of the paper would lift as I move towards the edge. Neatly cut it into half. And here I have 4 A5 sized sheets. So I'll again align it, make sure it's neat, and then fold it to half. I do not use a bone folder, so I'll just do it with my hand by keeping the fabric in between. So now, after making all the signatures, we have a total of 8 signatures with the 8 sheets per signature, 4 sheets folded. So this is a total of 64 sheets. Today we're going to make a French link stitch with the French link in the middle, about 1.5 inch, and the other kettle stitches here on these edges. So I'll mark them with a pencil and an awl. So now for making the marks, I've made this guide. So I'll take each and every signature, open it at the middle. I'll make sure this is aligned, and then I'll put this here. Making a dot at the points where I need to put the awl through the paper. I have my marks on the first one. This is going to be the first French link, the second one, and these for the kettle stitches. Now I'll do the same for the other signatures too. So the signatures are now ready with their marks. Now it's time to make some holes in them with the awl. Now again, I'll open the pages, make sure it's all neatly aligned. I'll take this, I'll keep it right at the hole, the point that we've marked, and I'll push it in. Hopefully it has gone through all the 4 pages. Now the next one. Before I completely pick it up, I'll just check if the hole went through all the pages. Yes, it did. So the signature now is ready. We'll do the same again for all of these signatures. I thought it's going to be easy. You never know before you do it. They're now ready with the punches, so I'll start with the stitching process. My signatures, they're all prepared now with the holes, and I'm really tired now, so I need a break. I'll have some food and then we'll continue with the stitching part. The needle is ready, so I'll start with the bottommost signature and I'll keep the rest aside for now. I'll open it up from the middle again, and holding it from here, I'll pass this needle through the last signature. Through all the sheets. My holes are a little small, but the needle will do its work. Passing the whole thread through this. Leaving just a little at the end. Now through this hole, I'll hold this one so I don't pull the extra thread. It's tight now. I'll pass it through this hole now, the next one. And here. Now the next hole, which is here. Through the holes, through all the sheets to the center of the signature. It's a bit tangled here. I'll carefully detangle it and continue. Okay, now this one, the last one. So the first signature is done. I'll now line up the second one above this and stitch through the first hole here. Again, opening up the signature in the center and passing the needle through. I think I should have made slightly bigger holes. The next one. I'll pull this through, and now it's time for the French link. I'll pass the needle under this stitch, the whole of the thread, I don't want this at the center but towards the left, a little towards the left. Done. And now I'll simply pass it through this hole. Lesson learned, it's important the pages stay stacked up neatly. So here we have the beginning of our French link. I'll continue the same. Now I'll again pass the needle through this hole, through all of these holes into the center. The last one. So here we have our first French link ready. Now, as I've reached the end of the signature, I'll tie up my thread with the part of thread that we left at the beginning. Because I want my binding exposed, I'll put my needle through this smaller part of the thread. And I'll take it back through the hole. It's important to leave enough thread out at the beginning. Otherwise, it gets difficult with a big needle like mine. So I'll bring the knot in. So now I've got the knot on this side of the sheet. I'll make sure this is tight. And then I'll cut this off. I have the next signature on top now, and I'll start with this hole, the hole next to where my needle is right now. And through the center. For the next French link, I'll go under the thread again. And then this hole. Under this one and out of it. Through the next hole again. Trying to pull the thread straight so it does not tear my paper. Now for this one, I'll go under the previous stitch. So between both the signatures at the bottom, and I'll pass the thread through. And now from between the stitch. To form this pattern. Now I'll pass this through this one again, the link under. I'm trying to keep the thread perpendicular to the paper, again to avoid tearing. Also, I think it's better that I made the hole small because they're already being enlarged when I pass the needle through. So if I had them big already, I might have ended up tearing up the paper more. All of our signatures are now stitched together. Now, where we left the thread, on the inside, we'll tie a knot by taking this again through the last hole, through the center again. Tying it over here. We'll try to make a tiny knot here. One more to secure it. Now I'll cut off the excess thread. So our textbook is now complete and we'll start to cover it. Now for the cover, I have the front cover and the back cover both printed on different types of sheets. This one is a 180 GSM photo paper, while this one is a sticker paper, a glossy sticker paper. And the problem with using this is that this is not vinyl based, it is paper, and I believe that it might wear off with time easier than this one. So for the products that I'm going to sell, I'm going to use this for now, but since this one is only a trial for my own use, I'll use this one for the back cover and see how it works. Since the front cover is printed all over, an approximate middle would be okay for the front cover, but since the back cover has the brand name and the logo, and we cannot not centralize it, so I'm going to crease it here using the guides that I made. I printed these guides on Photoshop when I was setting this for the printing. Now I've aligned both the sheets, the front cover and the back cover, and I'll crease them here. I've made the crease here. Now the other end. I'll fold the creases outwards now. I've also cut out two boards for the front and the back. So we'll start with the front. I'll turn this upside down And then I'll keep my board in approximate center. I'm going to mark this. And now I'll apply paint to the surface. I have this waste sheet of paper. I'm going to use Fevicol and the Tombow glue for the brush tip that it has. I'm going to apply the paint using this. Maybe I should have used a brush, but I was just trying this method. Aligning this with the marks that I made earlier. Now I'll cut the edges. I'll keep the extra sheet here. And I'll start applying the glue. Using the same method. Okay, now I don't think that I should have used a brush because I think this works well. It's good. I'm not using the Tombow glue entirely because it's not easily available here. I need to order it online and then wait for it to arrive. And I want my products to be standardized. So the front cover is now ready. Now I'll peel this off. Now, using the guides that we made earlier, I don't know if you can see it on the camera. I'll align this. Okay, I'll stick it here. Now again, cutting the sides. I hope this went well. Okay, now I'll wrap this around. It's much easier to work with. But it needs to align neatly. Okay, now let's see if it aligned right. Yes, it did. I think it looks good. Now coming to the last step, I'll apply glue all over the last page. I'll do the same for the front cover. I've glued both sides. Now I'll wait for the glue to dry. I kept the notebook under some pressure and the glue has set now. Our diary is ready. It opens flat and perfectly. the diary is now complete, but I know that I've made a few mistakes. For starters, I did not make an end page. End page is supposed to go here, where the cover meets the text block, and it should be hard enough to hold the board. So I simply stuck it to the signatures, the first signature and the last signature, instead of putting it on an end page and then stitching the end page with the other signatures. So this is what I'm going to do next time. Besides that, I did apply an even coat on the front part, the front cover, but when I was doing the back cover, I could not apply the coat evenly because I was too slow, and because of that you can see there's this mark which is caused by excess of glue at one spot. So this is again something I'd like to avoid. The binding is good, it looks really well, but it's slightly loose. If I turn the pages, it comes well, but when I reach the pages, they flip well, but when I come to the end of the signature, you can see this blank space here. So it's slightly loose. I think if I had my string, I think if I had my thread a little tight, it would have been better. So the next time, see, it's slightly shaky. I don't know if this kind of book, this kind of binding is supposed to go like this, but I think it could have been tighter. So next time I do it, I'm going to make it tight, and I'm going to include an end page which I'm going to stick to the board, the covers, the front and the back cover, and the last and the first signature. Rest, I think it's pretty well. The notebook that I'll put up for sale on my Amazon and my Instamojo would have the changes that I just mentioned, and it would not be this quality. This one also has a minor defect on the cover, a slight printing defect. I don't know if you can see it, it's a minor one, but I'll make sure that the one for sale does not have this. I used this here because this was just a trial. I wanted to experiment, to learn, so I used this one, the defective one, but I'll be printing again on the 180 GSM photo paper for the covers and 80 GSM paper for the signatures, and I'll also include a cartridge paper or an ivory sheet for the end page. Okay, see you next time. Bye.